gentlemen, don't forget it's our watch party, and I always encourage people to eat healthy. So I have here my memory snacks. Some of you are going to watch it as a replay. It's going to be an interesting one. Don't forget, we are reviewing the book titled How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a hard copy I have here. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I encourage you people, any salesperson, to get this book. It's very interesting and it's very, very important. So I'm going to be reading the part 2. The last time we did it, it was part 1 that we did, and today we're going to do the part 2. Part 2 has 6 chapters. Okay, 6 chapters, and it's very interesting. So I'm going to say this is going to be a short video because my battery is even low, so I won't be able to do much. It's going to be less than 30 minutes or 30 minutes max. Okay, now here it starts with 6 ways of making people like you. I'm sure this is what you should be interested in, getting people to like you. Anything you are selling, you should be able to, if you deal with people, you should be interested in getting people to like you. Okay, so I have some highlights here that I'm going to be reading out. The highlights of this book, this chapter 2, very important. Please, if you're watching me, just make sure you put it on the comment section so that I will read out your comment, because it's going to be a very fantastic way. Now, the highlights of today's watch party is the 6 ways of making people like you. The first one says, do this and you'll be welcomed anywhere. And if you are interested in knowing what to do so that you'll be welcome anywhere you are, you should do this. Now, the second one is a simple way to make a good first impression. Third one, if you don't do this, you are headed for trouble. The fourth one is an easy way to be a good conversationist. The fifth one says how to interest people. And last but not the least says how to make people like you instantly. So these are the things we're going to be talking about in today's book review by Dale Carnegie. It's very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Now, it says, chapter 1 says, do this and you'll be welcome anywhere. Do this and you'll be welcome anywhere. Okay? Now, he went ahead and talked about, did you ever stop to think about the dog? You know, he first of all talked about animals. Say some animals. Have you not noticed that some animals, almost all the animals have to do something to earn a living or to be liked or something? There is only a dog that doesn't do anything. A bee has to provide honey. You know, a cow has to provide milk. You know, and he even said that a chicken has to lay egg. But the dog, the only thing the dog gives you is love. And that is why a lot of people, that they say the dog is a man's best friend, because he just gives you all the love and everything. Say, do this and you'll be welcome anywhere. He now thought about how he bought a pet, a dog. They gave him a dog when he was 5 years old, and how the dog died and his world was more like crumbled because he couldn't believe that the dog will just die. Now he now says something about it is the individual who is not interested in his fellow men who has the power, the greatest difficulties in life and provides the greatest injury for others. It is from among such individuals that all human failures spring. He talks about how people who struggle most time is because they don't like dealing with people. Now, he now said, when you see a group of photographs, what picture do you always look forward to? It's not your picture that you go forward to. But imagine if the reverse is the case, you will see that you are in for more things. Okay. Now, let's quickly go to this particular part. He said that as people, he said to me that in many magicians that, you know, okay, now he talked about a magician that was always interested in getting people, entertaining people gathered for him, that he was always impressed knowing that people have gathered for him, that he made jokes to make sure that he impresses those people, not just because of their money, you know. So he thought that what he's talking about here is when you are genuinely interested in people. You know, if you are genuinely interested in people, you are welcome anywhere. That's what he's talking about in this particular chapter. Okay, he said he was talking about how the magician, he said he never stepped in front of people without He's first saying to himself over and over again, I love my audience, I love my audience, I love my audience. And he will rehearse how he loves his audience before he even step out to meet his audience, which is a very great thing that has helped him scale through in his practice as a magician over the years. Okay, now coming to chapter 2 of of part 2 chapter 2. Okay, he now said a simple way to make a first impression, very very important. He said at a dinner party that a woman that has inherited something, that she made a lot of dishes, gathered people, but guess what, the only thing that was missing was a smile on her face. She kept on a gloomy face, and it was very disturbing. People that came there felt uncomfortable. By the time you know it, they were all leaving her. Now you know said action speaks louder than words, and a smile says, I like you, you make me happy, and I'm happy to see you. Okay, that's what a smile does to people. Now says a baby smile is the same effect. Now don't forget, I'm trying to make you read books. That is what this whole program is all about. Okay, now a baby smile, when a baby smiles to you, you see that helpless and that innocent face is very very charming. I know that a lot of people are on traffic going home, but don't worry, you can watch the replay later. Now he now said that a professor, a doctor was complaining about every time people are always sitting on the waiting room waiting for him, that if you get into a doctor's, people are coming with their problems and people are tired. They are always keeping a very gloomy face. That is not easy. That most time if he gets into the wardroom to just see his patient, that he gets scared. But on a particular day, a woman came in with her child, and the child was making noises, going around touching people, and that was how the room was filled with laughter for the first time in his practice. You know, I said, don't talk about, when you talk about smile, he's not talking about an insincere grin. We know the difference when you just do me as if you like people, and they can easily tell. Now I said Professor James, a psychologist at the University of Michigan, explained his feeling when with a smile. People who smile said tend to manage, teach, and sell more effectively, and they raise happier children. There is far more information in a smile than a frown, and that is why encouragement is much more effective in teaching, a teaching device, than punishment. If you teach people and encourage people, you can easily get the best out of them than punishing them. When you punish them, they become more hardened and they become hardened criminal. Okay, now he said the employment manager of a line New York department store so told me that he rather hire a sales clerk who hadn't finished a grade school. Now he also said that this book also talked about how the effect of a smile is very very powerful. Okay, he now said that there was a time he was trying to hire a PhD managed computer sales manager. So he kept on calling this particular man that was very very qualified, and guess what, the man had other offers, had higher offers in beautiful organizations. But guess what, the man came and told him that he wants to work with him, and upon that he was going to pay him less. He now asked the man, why did you choose to work with me? Do you know what the man said? The man said that the way you spoke to me on the phone, you smiled at me, you made me feel you really wanted to work with me. Others were all in their high horses, bragging about what they are offering him and everything, more like he felt bought. But because of the way he smiled at him on the phone, and he now said that a lot of large organizations pay their staff, those customer care, they train them to smile. If you smile, even though those people are not seeing you when you're making those calls, it can travel through your phone. They will know that you are smiling when you are talking to them. Okay, so he now ended the talk by saying in this particular chapter that a smile is one of the second principle, that a smile, if you do this, a simple way to make a good first impression is to smile at people. Very very important. It's very very small but very very important. You think it's easy? He even talked about how a man that has never smiled all his entire life in his marriage, that a particular time they were given a punishment that this particular week everybody smiled at all the people around you, that the man took his time to smile at everyone, and it gave him a very large result. People, even when he started smiling at people, people started feeling that he's high or something. Now the third one, this chapter says, if you don't do this, you are headed for trouble. Now he talked about Jim Fairley. He left behind a widow. Okay, this particular man, Jim Fairley, his father died when he was 10 years old. I'm just going to be talking about what I've already read it. So the father died when he was like 10 years old, and guess what? When he was up to 4, because the father died early, he couldn't go to school, he didn't finish school and everything. But after a while, what happened was that after a while, after he didn't go to school, but when he was 40, he was one of the most influential person in that particular town. And they asked him a question: how did you manage to do this? He said that the only thing he knows he does best is that he can mention up to 50,000 people's name in their first name. He takes his time to study people's first name, study people and call them their full name, pronounce it well. If he has an appointment with you, he takes overnight, he researches about you and pronounces your name over and over until he gets it. You know, let's bring it down to Nigeria now. Let's say, for example, because I'm Igbo, I cannot pronounce some Yoruba names very well or Hausa names. But imagine if I make an effort, I'm meeting a so and so person tomorrow, I can make an effort to pronounce it in the person's accent. Don't you think that the person will want to listen to me even much more any other time I want to talk to them? That is what this book is talking about here. Okay, now that's, he said, if you do this, if you don't do this, you're headed for trouble. The more people, do you know how many doors that will open for you if you can actually remember people's name very well? Sorry, I don't forget that I'm having a watch party. Okay, so let me eat my some few things. Okay, so let's continue. So he said that you should just make a conscious effort to call people by their first name, that you will open doors that you never imagine. Remember that a person's name to that person is the sweetest and the most important sound in any language. If it's a difficult name, make sure you pronounce it very well over and over in your bedroom before you meet the person. Now the fourth one says, an easy way to become a good conversationalist. Okay, now he said that the easiest way to be a great conversationalist is to make sure that all the doors I marked, I'm not seeing them again. Okay, the easiest way to become a very good conversationalist here is to make sure that you listen to people, listen to them very, very well. Listen to people. A lot of people like to talk about themselves. When you meet with people, they will hardly let you talk. They will want to be talking about themselves, their interests. You say that is how 97% of people are in the world. So if you really want to make a very good impression or be a good conversationalist, forget about yourself, drop your interest and everything. You can, even if it's a prominent person, you know this person is interested in so and so thing, why don't you research? He said he actually goes and researches about something before he meets the person. If he's a client, you know, you will never imagine what will happen when you take your time to listen to the person with what the person is saying. By the time you are done listening to the person, in fact, he said something about how, because he wanted a particular boy to go to Europe, to be sent to Europe to play a football match, and he has someone that can help him do that. So what he did was that he heard that man that he wants to go and meet has won a contract of over $1 million, and the check was given to him like a week before. So when he met the man, he asked the man, "Sir, I learned that you won a $1 million check. Congratulations, you know." He has come to ask for favor. He did not ask for the man's money. He now told the man that, "Sir, sorry, no vex. I have never seen $1 million check before in my life, and I'm going to tell all my students that I saw a $1 million. Can you just show me?" The man was so excited. The man brought out the check, was showing him everything. He was just congratulating the man. Now, at the end of the man now asked him, "You even said you were going to see me. We not even talk for more than 1 hour. We've not even talked about why you are coming here to see me." Not only that's one of my boys who that is going to Europe. I know that you can easily put him in the league and let him go to the. Do you know what this man did? The man did not only send that boy to Europe. The man sent 5 of his boys to Europe. In fact, the man had to escort him to them to France, and the man took them around Paris free of charge, just because he was genuinely happy for him, telling him that he has never seen this. There's a time you may have to drop your ego. Wow, I've never seen something like this before in my entire life. Oh my God. Some of us, this is the first time you are seeing something very impressive. And instead of you to say it, you will not say it. Let's say, for example, you enter somebody's house and someone is using Siri or Alexa, all of these self-driven, speaking apps that can easily talk. And when the person is now using it, instead of you to say, oh, this is the first time I'm even seeing this thing, I've never seen it before, you are not shy, you'll be pretending you've seen it before. I don't understand. How would a door open? Do you know that when you can actually, even if you have seen it, if you can pretend to say that you have never seen it before, the person you will feel highly lifted, maybe feels like he's above you. It's good to make the person feel that way, and then the person may want to listen to what you're saying or even help you out in what you're doing. The person will realize that is one of the highest compliments, telling the person, oh, this is your perfume. I never perceived this kind of expensive perfume. I never perceived it before. And genuinely mean it if it's an expensive perfume. But some of us will pretend, make it look like I never see something like this before in my life. Let it be. That is it. Now, the fifth one he said is how to interest people. How to interest people is an act. Everything we are doing in this life is an act. Okay, now he said that as I write this chapter, I have before me a letter from Lewa who said, okay, one day I found I needed a favor. Okay, I've already talked about this one. To how to interest people, very, very important. He found it and he went there for the Boy Scout stuff, and that was how that door opened for him. Now he ended this chapter to say, talk in terms of other person's interests, that it will help you open more doors. If you talk in terms of other people's interests, you can easily get them to do anything for you. He said something about a botanist, how he went to a particular party and he doesn't know anything about plants and animals and all of those things, forests and everything. But he listened to this man. The man was talking about how his garden, different kind of plants, his research and everything. The only thing he said was, wow, interesting. Oh my God, you have a very good job. I can't believe that things like this are happening in this world and I'm not part of it. He was genuinely interested in what the man was saying. And guess what? It opened lots and lots of doors. He sat down there for more than 1 hour, 20 minutes, and the man was busy talking about his profession, and he had no interest in it, but because he had mastered the art of pretending he had interest in this thing, it helped him open lots of doors. Okay, now the last chapter as I round up today is how to make people like you instantly. This one is a very good art. It's something that you should learn. Now if you are just coming in, what you just need to do is to go back and replay this, because you will learn a lot of things. Now he said, as I was waiting to register a letter at the post office. Now when he was waiting to register a letter, he saw a particular man that was working so hard, stamping mails, carrying people's envelopes, carrying different things. It was so difficult because this book is backdated. So he said he kept on looking at this man, and he was showing that the man is so underappreciated. People just pass him invisibly. People come there to even shout at him, where's my mail? People were just talking to the man anyhow. Guess what he did? He was sat very far away and was observing what this man was really working hard to make sure that everybody is okay. When he got to his turn, he told the man, I love the color of your hair. He said the man is red-headed, gray a bit, but he paid that man a very beautiful what's it called. Now immediately he did that, the man was already stressed. I think he had been doing this for many years. He said the man, if you see the way the man's face lit, the man told him, wow, that the hair used to be fine. What the man told him, that the hair used to be fine now, it's just that now I'm getting older, so it's not as fine as it used to be. He told the man, no, it's so beautiful, it's nice. It's just that maybe you're not taking care of it, but to be honest, this hair is one of the best things. And he said when someone is trying to act as though the compliment is not really a big deal, still insist and compliment, not those fake compliment because you want to collect something from someone. Now he said that when he went to tell his students about what happened, one of the students asked him, so what did you want from the man that made you pay him the compliment? He told him that genuinely, honestly, he just wanted to compliment the man. and he complimented the man. The man stamped his papers and he left. It's not like he wanted extra favor. You know, so many of us normally compliment people because you want something else from them, and that is why it sounds so fake. I've seen people tell me, I love your earring, I love your hair, can you come and help me to do this? Immediately, you did not even allow me to finish digesting it. You could have just said, oh, I love your earring. Where did you buy it? Act as though you know. Add more sentences. Where did you buy it from? The person will just allow the person to also talk. When the person finishes talking and talking and talking and talking, you can even ask another question. And this hair is still fresh like this now. Wow, you know how to maintain hair. It is no longer looking like a normal general compliment. Or if you say, this your shoe is so beautiful. Wow, you have eyes for good kind of quality of shoe. So I don't know. I wanted to ask you where did you buy it from, but there's no need because I don't think I can afford it. You can say things like that. The person will be like, who told you? It's not even expensive. Say, this is expensive. People will crack joke and make sure that the place lands. Don't come and start acting as though the whole thing is. This is how this particular chapter, that's how I understand it, because he said that you have to make people like you instantly, and it's still true compliment, a genuine compliment, not those kind of fake compliment that makes people feel who is this, and what. There's a kind of compliment you compliment someone like me, I will know instantly that you want something, so I will just block up. As I'm telling you, you can say, what do you want? Thank you. What is it? What happened? Why are you complimenting me? I already know that you are wanting something already, but there's some kind of compliment you compliment someone, the person will be like, thank you, wow, thank you so much, I really appreciate that compliment. And as the person is thanking you, you add more to it. So in conclusion, for today's book review, I promised I was going to be on time. Yes, it's not even up to 30 minutes. In conclusion to today's book review, we are still reviewing this book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. In conclusion, the first principle, or 6 ways to make people like you, is number 1, become genuinely interested in other people. Number 2, smile. Smile is very important. Just smile, okay? Smile at people, smile at passersby, smile at strangers, friends, family members, spouses, children as well. Smile, anyone, just smile, okay? Make it easy. It's very easy. Just smile at them. Now the third one is, remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and the most important thing in the world. Remember that a person's name is very important to them. How can you finish closing a transaction with the person? Someone will call you on phone and say, hey, what's that your name again? If someone does it to you, you used to be happy. It's not easy. It's not good at all. It's a very bad thing. Before you call someone, find a way, make effort to get to know the person's name. Call the person's name and surname if it's a professional call, or if it's the person, just make sure you call the person's name. Don't make it over that you don't know the person's name. The more names you can remember, the better for you, okay? Now the fourth principle is to be a good listener. A good listener, to encourage people to talk about themselves. Let's not be the one that when they gather you, you are the only center of attention. Many people are like you. If you want to be different, you have to find a way to make sure you're not the center of attention, and make sure you allow people talk about themselves. You even learn more with that, instead of always be the parrot talking and all of that. No, learn to slow it down, allow other people to talk. Now the fifth one principle is, talk in terms of other people's interests. Talk in terms of other people's interests, what they are interested in doing. If they're interested in network marketing, find a way to listen to them. If you're interested in sales, if you're interested in real estate, travel, anything, if they're interested in their doctors, you can just listen to them. You're not a doctor, so it will be easy for you to learn from them. Pick some, that's the best way to do a brain picking, because brain picking is very easy. You can even get an idea on how to do something very, very massive, okay? Now last but not the least is, make the other person feel important. Make other person feel, everybody wants to feel important in this life. So if you can drop your own self and make another person feel important, you can easily get them to do anything for you. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and don't forget, this is the book we're reviewing, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's very, very educative. If you master this in sales, it's very easy for you. By next week, we're going to do the part 3, and there's another part 4 before we round off for this book. We don't want it to be a pressure, okay, so that you can easily follow through, and you can easily go back and click on this link and watch the replay anytime. You can send it to your friends, share it on Facebook. I encourage you to share so they can get more insights in how these things work. So thank you very much for listening to the end. If you watched to the end of this video, it means you really love my book review. You can also go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel. Click on the thumbs up and share this video so I can get to more people. So enjoy your rest of your day, guys. My battery is low. And I'll see you in the next book review. Have a fantastic weekend ahead. It's coming up soon, and I love you all.